Welcome. It's another Friday and it's time for the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. Many thanks for joining us. This is the show that primes you for another weekend of exciting Premier League action. Of course, the catch is that this weekend there's no Premier League action, but some Premier League teams are involved in Emirates FA Cup action. So I think it's right, if not proper, that we talk about them and what their chances potentially are in the Cup competition. So you can send in your thoughts and comments on the WhatsApp number right on your screen, and we'll go through as many of your messages as possible before the show comes to an end. It's a potentially interesting weekend in terms of cup action in England, so we'll discuss all of that and more on this episode. Plus, later, we'll discuss some very important news coming from the quarters of Liverpool. Now, for those who do not know, Jurgen Klopp has announced that this season is his last season at Liverpool. He's leaving when the season comes to an end. So we'll talk a bit about that and try to figure out what life post-Klopp will look like potentially at Liverpool. So it's an interesting preview show, Premier League preview show for you on Citi TV. Many thanks for tuning in. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we start the show. My guests are seated. We are ready. I hope you are ready. This is the Premier League preview show. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. Once again, my guest is here, Yahweh J. Minter of the Citi Sports Desk. Yahweh, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Nathan.
All right. So today we are riding solo on the show.
Yes.
Yes. All righty. Now, typically we'll be having a look at Premier League fixtures, but no, we'll talk about the Emirates FA Cup. Some Premier League teams are in action. The biggest game of the round happens to be in North London, where Tottenham Hotspur welcome Manchester City to the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. City are yet to win a game there. So very interesting one for a Friday night as well. So like I said, we'll also look at Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp a little later. But Chelsea, they are in action. Chelsea are in action in round 4. They host Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge. Very interesting tie. Villa are one of the informed league teams. They take on Chelsea, who have just booked a place in the final of the Carabao Cup. Let's have a look at Chelsea's engagement in the previous round. They hosted Preston North End at Stamford Bridge. Let's enjoy the highlights and then we'll get into the conversation. All right, so that was Chelsea's last exertion in the Emirates FA Cup. They beat Preston North End by 4 goals to 0. Easy peasy. Of course, it was a slightly tricky first half, but Chelsea responded and they won by 4 goals to 0. My other guest has joined us, Emmanuel Buduano. Emmanuel, how are you doing? All right. Your thoughts on this one? Yeah. Chelsea take on Villa. It's a very exciting-looking game. Exciting-looking one. Villa under Unai Emery have looked really good in the last few months. Yeah. Chelsea under Pochettino have looked this way and that way, but they've booked their place in the League Cup, so that should give them some confidence.
Yeah, in the League Cup final. Yeah, in the League Cup final. Yeah,
take on Liverpool.
Take on Liverpool. And what has really caught my attention about Chelsea is how they've managed to bully teams, the lower tier teams, because we saw that against Middlesbrough, where they beat them where they scored by 6 goals and all that. Then you have them also scoring 4 goals in this one. And so for me, it's down to Chelsea, I think, finding their feet and being able to just gain enough momentum ahead of that big game against Liverpool. Because the one thing that has been, a problem for Chelsea all season has to do with their conversion rate. And so once you have Chelsea scoring 4 goals in one game, scoring 6 in another game, then that means good news for Mauricio Pochettino, and that means there's confidence for the players to move into that League Cup final. But the point is, the League Cup final is some way off.
Yes, at the end of February.
End of February. But between then and now, because of the wins that they've been able to pick up and the dominant nature of the wins and the high-scoring nature of the wins, it gives them the chance to build enough momentum, gain enough confidence to play out league games from this point on till the League Cup final, to put them in a very strong position to potentially shock Liverpool to the title. Because at the end of the day, moving into that final, Liverpool are, let's be honest, odds-on favorite to win that title because of how they've played all season. And on top of that, having just that emotional edge based on what happened this morning with Jurgen Klopp's announcements to leave at the end of this season. Yes, you see Liverpool players wanting to go out there to win a trophy for Jurgen Klopp, because you don't know how the Champions League will go. You don't know how
the Europa League will go.
The Europa League. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't know how the Europa League will go. You don't know how the league title will go. So the league title race will go. And so the most realistic title that they can win, or they could potentially win, is the Carabao Cup. And so, yeah, Liverpool go into that game as also a favorite. But with Chelsea, the problem that they've had all season, now they look to be solving it. And that should be great news for Mauricio Pochettino and all of the Chelsea fans.
Interesting. Emmanuel, let me take your thoughts. Let's look at it from a Villa perspective. Under Unai Emery, they've really improved. They've been in very, very good form. Some people believe that this is when they should also give it a good attempt to see what they can get out of the cup competitions. But they go to Chelsea, who themselves, like y'all said, are building confidence and all of that. How can Villa get themselves a good result in that round 4 as they travel to Chelsea to play in the Emirates FA Cup?
I think their last 2 visits to Stamford Bridge, I think they could really take a lot from that particular, those 2 trips actually, because they've come out on top in both games. I think they won the last one by a goal to nil, Watkins scoring the goal, and then they actually won the other game as well by 2 goals to nil. So in the last 2 trips to the Stamford Bridge, they've been able to come out on top. But I think against this Chelsea side, who have sort of like found a bit of like consistency in terms of delivering performances at home, I feel that they have to, Villa has to like stick to what they know how to do best. You know, Watkins has been their main man this season. He has been getting them the goals and all that. I think the support from Diaby and then how do you call it? This boy from Roma, Zaniolo. Sorry, Zaniolo. The support from both of them have also like.
And Leon Bailey as well.
Leon Bailey as well. And I think they have a very good double pivot in Kamara and then Douglas Luiz. So, and their goalkeeper is also very good as well. Martinez has also like kept things tidy at the back and all that. So I feel that they just have to like, they have a how do you call it? They have a rather Unai Emery has he has been a bit consistent with the selections, right? And they have a very like compact team, and then they know the personnel that they can call upon to deliver for them. So I think they don't really need to make a lot of tweaks to their system. They should try as much as possible to capitalize on maybe a few errors like in the Chelsea side, which, I mean, they are bound to happen anyway. So they can capitalize on those as well, and then try to see if they can get something out of it again. I feel at Stamford Bridge, it's quite, in the cup games, it's quite difficult, like playing against Chelsea, because they've only lost twice in, I think, 47 games or so. They've only lost twice at Stamford Bridge. So going up against them there, then I feel Villa have to count on their main men to deliver for them. Yeah.
But I think it will be an interesting watch, because at this point in time, both teams go into this game looking good of their problems. So you look at Aston Villa, for instance, when the season started, because they play a very high line, they had issues preventing teams from scoring goals by beating the offside trap. Yeah. And that's how come Newcastle scored, beat them by 5-0 to open the season. Because you had as many as 3 goals coming off Newcastle beating the offside trap that Aston Villa set, because they pressed up so high. But now they've practiced it and they've worked on it and they've become better at it. And you look at their game against Arsenal. Arsenal was caught on offside, I think, about 4, 5 times, 6 times, and it was very frustrating because of how, I wouldn't say perfect, but how very good they had become at setting that trap because of the high line that they play. Then you look at Chelsea, as I addressed earlier, scoring goals, converting chances. Now they look to be way, way better at it than they were before. So, yeah, it should make up for a very fascinating game to watch tonight. All
right, we'll see how it goes. It's Chelsea hosting Aston Villa at Stamford Bridge in round 4 of the Emirates FA Cup. Let's move on to some other FA Cup games. On Sunday at 4:30 p.m. is Manchester United. They are traveling to Newport to play in that game. United got here by beating Wigan while Newport got here by beating Eastleigh. So as of the time United beat Wigan, they did not know which of the two teams they were going to face, but Newport came through in that encounter. Let's see United's last game in the Emirates FA Cup. They played away at Wigan Athletic. All right, so that's how Man United beat local rivals Wigan by 2-0. For those who don't know, Man United and Wigan are in the same broad part of England, so that's why I call them rivals. So Man United, Man City, well, they're in the same city. Wigan, Blackburn, Bolton.
Oh, I see.
So those are teams in the larger...
as they would say, the greater Manchester...
You can call it Greater Manchester if you like, but like more like the Lancashire area. Okay. So like I said, so Man United, Man City, Burnley, Blackburn, and then Wigan.
Is Leeds in that list?
So Leeds are Yorkshire. Leeds are,
okay.
They are not. But the rivalry between the two is steeped in history. White Rose, Red Rose, that kind of... Anyway, that's not the story for today. Man United, they go to Newport. Newport are further down the English pyramid. Yeah. But they're a team with a lot of pride. I remember watching them play, who was it? Manchester City a few years ago. They made an exciting game. Eventually, City went through. I guess it is Manchester United's game to lose. So United have to show up and play a performance. If anybody were to watch that game for a neutral, for a United fan, what are the things they should take off, or what should United aim to do in this game?
I think, United in yesteryears, I feel they have to show a lot of intent. I mean, against lower tier sides, I think the last time they lost to a lower tier side in the FA Cup was back in 2010. That was the last time they lost a game.
Against Leeds, yes. At Old Trafford.
Yeah, and I feel they have, against sides in the lower division, they always have something to prove, They don't come in just to joke around, and most of them are even fans of the club itself, and they want to showcase what they also have, and then prove that they can also play, And even against that backdrop, the coach of the Newport team is actually a boyhood United fan, So coming up against United, you would want to also flex his muscles in a way. So I feel United have to be very imposing. They have to try as much as possible to dominate from the onset. We saw Chelsea do to Middlesbrough in their EFL qualification, their final qualification. So they shouldn't take anything for granted. I feel they've been quite frustrating to watch in recent times. Rashford especially. Sometimes his decision making has been quite. I don't know. He has really not been helping. I mean, he got a goal the last time, but I feel he can equally improve. He has a lot of quality. I mean, he has just hit a very rough patch, and then hopefully he comes out of it. Garnacho is taking a claim for. I mean, he has been the star for me this season, aside Kobe Mainoo. And I feel if United is going to come out of the game with something tangible, those two have to show up for them. And we wouldn't be seeing Onana imposed, but in there we'll be getting a shot this time around. And I'm hoping that he wouldn't fidget or be a bit shaky, jittery, and then he will give away some goals for fans to troll him and all that. But I'm hoping that's not going to happen, because I think the last time I came across a compilation, a failed compilation of it, it was really terrible, I feel that wouldn't be the case, since he will be outdooring himself to United fans in that particular game. So I feel Ten Hag has to, the players have to stick to the basics. No margin for error. They have to, go in hard, and then we'll see how that one will also pan out for them. Yeah,
for United, what will be more important? I guess they want to progress, but is it result, no performance? Result and a performance, or just get the win and move?
No, results and performance, because at this point in time, they can't just have or get the result and move on like nothing happened, because they are in a state where every performance matters, not every result, every performance, because we've seen them win games where the performance is just not it. Okay. And because of the state they are in, there's a lot of chaos at Man United at this point in time. So it's not just about they winning, it's about how they win. And so anything that comes close to resembling dominance or the Man United style of play, Man United way of dominating teams in yesteryear, then it will be accepted. But anything aside that, more question marks will be attached to that performance, and more question marks will be attached to the members of the team. So if Man United goes out there and plays poorly but manages to earn a 2-0 win against Newport like they did against Wigan, and you still find Rashford trying to smash the ball from an acute angle the way he did. More questions will be asked. Is this guy developing? Is it too late for him to develop? Would Man United ever get the best version of Rashford or an improved version of Rashford from the version that we had last season, where he scored 30 goals for the first time in his professional career at the senior level? So more questions will be asked. Is Ten Hag getting his word across the team very well? Would he last beyond this season? Should he fail to win the FA Cup? Because with Man United and the chaos and the question marks surrounding the team, they need a top-level performance. Because if they don't get a top-level performance or string of top-level performances, when they win poorly, it would have to be you win the title to justify how you play, that poor run of performance. But if they play poorly and they don't win the title, then more pressure gets heaped on the team and especially the manager. But if they play very well, dominant fashion, play very stylistic football, maybe the kind of Ten Hag ball that we had back during this time at Ajax, and maybe they fall short of winning the FA Cup, they fall short in they fall in the semi-final, I think fans will be a bit okay with that. That, okay, now we see an identity. Now we get to understand the full Ten Hag experience. Then we can be confident that, okay, they can build on it, and it will be more or less like a reminiscent of what we had last season, where the team was good, the narrative around the team was good, and the expectation coming into this season was high, but it's fallen flat. So if they can get those kind of performances tied to wins, top-level performances tied to wins, then they can go back to that kind of feeling, or have that kind of feeling, then be confident that going forward or moving forward, Man United really is on the right track. But aside that, they will just be putting pressure on themselves to ensure that they win the FA Cup or win a title, to ensure that they make up for the terrible run of performances that they've been putting across, or inconsistent, because they've been very, very inconsistent. Man United has been.
Interesting. Even realistically, this is the only title they can win.
Yeah, this is the only title because they're out of the Carabao Cup, Champions League, and Europa League. The playoff, it's a bit dicey. You never know how things might pan out. And so, realistically, the FA Cup is the only title they might end up winning this season.
Interesting. Final thoughts, Emmanuel, from you. For Newport, this must be a very interesting weekend. I'm sure the fans will turn up, fill the place, because Manchester United are in town.
Absolutely. I think, like I said earlier, games like this, I mean, I think that's why I think there was at a point, Klopp was sort of like advocating for, and some managers, they wanted like some of these competitions to be scrapped, because why does only England have 2 domestic cups and all that? But for some of these fans, right, these are the sort of games that they look forward to in every season, because I mean they know for a fact that their chances of even making it to Championship are very, very, from League 2, even making the jump from League 2 to League 1.
Yeah, it's tough.
And then from League 1 to Championship itself, before making it from Championship to the Premiership itself. It takes like a lot. It takes a lot. And to most of these fans, these are like more or less like the only avenue for them to see some of these big clubs. So I know they will show up in their numbers. They will be wanting their side to also like prove that indeed they are capable of something. And even against the United side, that like sort of like gives an on and off vibe. I feel they would think that they can actually get something out of the game. So it's one to look forward to. For one, I really wouldn't be surprised if they even get a draw against United. I wouldn't be surprised.
And then go back to Old
Trafford. I think Man United will win. But just to piggyback on what Ima said, I remember, I think 2-3 years ago, when Gareth Bale fell out with Real Madrid and he got back to Tottenham Hotspur. They played one of these FA Cup, Carabao Cup ties at a very small team. And the stadium was so small that an individual in his room just poked his neck, stuck his neck outside the window, and he was looking at Gary Bill in person.
It was against Dons, MK
Yes,
Dons.
and he was looking at Gary Bill in person. He took a picture and like, this is absolute bonkers. That I'm seeing Gary Bill in person outside my window. That absolute bonkers. Best feeling in my life. And so yeah, that's what these kind of fixtures give to fans who do not necessarily have the chance of seeing these big boys and big clubs in action.
Well, they call it the magic of the cup. I'm sure Newport will hope that this weekend they will get to experience the right type of magic when they host Manchester United at their home ground. It's called Rodney Parade. Rodney Parade. That's where, the Newport guys, that's where they play their games. And United will be there this weekend. Interesting stuff. Newport versus Manchester United. This is a Premier League preview show. Today we are talking FA Cup fixtures. We'll take a very quick break. When we come back, we have a lot more for you, including the top game of the weekend. Plus, we'll talk a bit about Jurgen Klopp and his very interesting decision that he's taking at Liverpool. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwame. My guests here are Yahweh J. Minta and Emmanuel Budu. And now let's move on to the final game on our hop around. We go to the North London area, the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. That's where the action will be. Spurs taking on Manchester City. Manchester City are defending champions from last season. They beat Man United in that final. And they are taking on Tottenham Hotspur. At a ground they have not enjoyed traveling to. They are yet to win a game at the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And they are hoping that, they can start with a win this time around. Let's see Man City's last game in the Emirates FA Cup. They beat Huddersfield Town by 5-0. At the Etihad. Kevin De Bruyne made his return from injury. Phil Foden and many others were on the score sheet. Let me start off with you. This is a very big game.
Yeah, very big.
Very, very, very big game. Important game for the two teams. Yep. Spurs will need this as like a confidence booster. Manchester City will need this so that they keep staying in the FA Cup and also to kind of welcome them back from a bit of a break. They haven't played in a while. Your thoughts on this one?
Yeah. They haven't played in a while. I think last week or a few days ago, I saw Kevin De Bruyne out in Abu Dhabi in his robe, touring the famous mosque in Abu Dhabi, having a good time. Now that the league structure has been spread out across this point in this period to give the players enough rest. But at the same time, not necessarily go on a proper winter break to deprive fans of the chance of watching football throughout the season. I think, it's a win-win for the league, for the players, and for the fans too. But for this game, I think Man City, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up continuing their woeful form against Tottenham Hotspur at their new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, because it's been a bit jerky. It's been a bit jerky for a while for Manchester City, and it's something that you don't normally associate with Pep Guardiola's teams, be it Bayern Munich, be it Barcelona, be it the Man City. Bar the first season he took over after he moved over to England. And so looking at the record, looking at how Tottenham has fared in the face of adversity, looking at the suspensions, the injuries that they had to go through, even despite the fact that Bissouma wouldn't be around, Pape Sarr is injured, having Bentancur back, I think it does a lot of big things for Tottenham Hotspur. And
he was very good when they drew 2-2 with Manchester United.
And so, I have this nagging feeling that, Tottenham might end up taking something out of this, either forcing maybe a replay, or there could be a situation where they end up as winners again. Should Man City win it, it wouldn't surprise me, but should they also end up not winning it, it wouldn't surprise me. It's a bit of a 50-50 chance for Man City. You don't always say that regarding this team, but this is one of those teams where this is one of those games where Man City don't go into it as odds-on heavy favourites to win the matchup, because aside the fact that Tottenham Hotspur are good, Man City have a poor record against Tottenham in that stadium, and on top of that, Man City haven't really been at top notch level, and their form has been quite jerky, their play has been quite jerky. And so, yeah, adding it all up together, if it ends in a draw, I wouldn't be surprised. If Tottenham Hotspur ends up winning, I wouldn't be surprised. All three options happen, I wouldn't be surprised. Should Man City win too, I wouldn't be surprised. So, yeah, it's that kind of game. It's a toss-up, and we'll just have to wait and see how it pans out.
Emmanuel?
Yeah, so I feel, I think for City, right, the performances that have more or less like been a bit wayward was, I think most of them might be attributed to the absence of Kevin De Bruyne, right? And I think the fact that he's back now alone actually gives the team a lot of like boost getting into this game. For Spurs, I think the defining or like the deciding factor, right, in most of these games against City had been either Harry Kane or Heung-min Son, you know. In most of the matches that City has lost in the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, you find either of these two guys scoring in those matches. But at this point in time, you have Son at the AFC with South Korea at the moment, and they're also trying to get things done on that front. And then he wouldn't really be available for this game. You also have Bissouma out. Sa is also out with Senegal as well at the AFCON. And I feel that this is more or less like City have a very good chance to, like, for the first time in their history, right, get something out of the Tottenham Hotspur, like the new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. You rightly said, it wouldn't be surprising to find them to see City like win over there. It would also not be surprising if Spurs gets the win, because Ange has also showed that he doesn't really fear most of these big boys and all that. He's quite capable in terms of like matching them boot for boot and all that. So I feel that it will be a very interesting game. That's for sure. And also the fact that Tottenham also have some of their key players coming back. They might be able to like put in some good performances, and then they'll be able to like get a better out of the game for themselves. I feel that City might edge it, you know, because the last time they lost an away game in the FA Cup was actually against Wigan in 2018. Since then, they've not really lost. The defeats that they've picked up was actually at Wembley, but in terms of like away games,
that's a neutral ground.
Yeah, neutral ground anyway. So in terms of an away game, they've not really lost. In the last almost like 4 years, actually 6 years. Yes, in the last 6 years. So that would be very interesting. I think the last time Spurs and City also met in this competition was back in like 2003, 2004, where City did a comeback. They won. They were 3 goals down, and then they came back to win 4-3 in that particular encounter. So it will be a very interesting game to watch. So I feel that City might edge it in this one. So yeah,
I see. In terms of lineups. Yeah. Spurs really don't have a lot of wiggle room due to injuries and absences. So Ange Postecoglou will present the strongest that he can. Yeah. On the Man City side, they've got a few more options. In terms of let me get that.
Haaland won't play.
Haaland, of course, he's out.
Yeah.
Through injury.
Yeah.
I kind of worry for the rest of the league. I think they're just hiding him somewhere. They unleash him. Yeah, he's out. What kind of lineup are you expecting from Pep Guardiola?
Yeah, I think they've had enough rest. And Ederson, he picked up an injury recently.
At Newcastle.
Yeah.
So nobody, I think we'll find out.
Yeah, either Ortega. I think Ortega might end up starting. The usual Josko Vadio, Akanji, Ake, then we see Kyle Walker, then likely to see John Stones come off the bench. Then up front, I'll go with definitely Julian Alvarez starting. Then Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne. Let's see, Jeremy Doku, potentially.
You start with Doku.
Yeah, I'll start with Doku. Then ditch Doku, put him on the bench. Bernardo Silva. Then put him on the bench. Bernardo Silva will start. Then Rodri and Kovacic. Yeah, Rodri and Kovacic with Doku to come off the bench. Bob to come off the bench, and Rico Lewis also to come off the bench. Yeah.
All right, Emmanuel, for Spurs, like we've established, they have absences, they have injuries. Would you expect them to kill this game off, or assuming things don't go according to plan, if they force the replay, would it be beneficial? Because that's one extra game to a Sheldon that's already complicated. Well, for Spurs, not too many complicated ties. They are not even in Europe. I mean, how do you think they will perceive this game?
Yeah, I think they will go for the kill. I think they will try to like just get a win and then.
No, and it's because of the coach's mentality.
That's
right. Because of his mentality, I think they will go for it. Because he's that kind of go guy. We saw it in that game against Chelsea. You are down by what, 2 men? Yeah. And he still kept on going. And so, I think that's the mentality of the coach, and he's transferred that onto his players.
The players, yeah. So I think they will go for the kill. And I think that I also feel that is where City might capitalize on and then try to do more damage. I actually see Bob starting. That guy is fantastic. Like, I think he hasn't gotten a lot of running in games, but whenever he's given like a little like time to showcase what he also has, he has up like he's almost always exceptional, you know. So I feel Spurs will go for the kill. They will try to like get something out of the game. I don't really see them going for a replay, right? And I feel that they equally have the personnel to pull this off, you know. And they just have to hope that City might falter in a way, and then they will be able to also try to capitalize. Rarely does that happen, but then they should hope that something like that will come out of it for them to also capitalize on and win and then progress to the next stage of the competition.
All right, it's the biggest round, or biggest game of the FA Cup round is Tottenham Hotspur at home in North London, taking on Manchester City, who are the defending champions of that competition. We wait to see how all of these games will play out. Let's move on to the next part of the show. Let's get into the debate. Welcome to the debate on the Premier League preview show. It's a very, very interesting time because we're all minding our business when Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp this morning dropped a bombshell and a story that's still sinking in for a lot of people, wondering where did this one come from. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp, he announced that he would be leaving the club at the end of the current season. If you think we are making it up, no, we are not. But let's hear from Jurgen Klopp himself, giving the announcement earlier today. All right, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp announcing his exit at the end of the season. I'm still in shock, really. I don't know how many of you guys are still in shock.
I was sure. I knew it was coming because he had talked about the burnout. He had complained about it, pressure, constantly having to deliver year after year, week after week, and tournament after competition after competition, tournament after tournament. So I saw it coming, but I thought it would be maybe 2025, maybe somewhere next season, not at the end of this season. Somewhere next season. I didn't think it would come this early.
Emmanuel,
I think it's almost akin to what happened when Sir Alex Ferguson retired. You know, I remember I was actually in school. I was in like senior high school then, and the news just ruined my day. Honestly, it was just out of the blue. I mean, I knew it was bound to happen. I really didn't think it would be in that particular year. You know, but I think for Klopp, he's really done well. I mean, it's pretty debatable. I mean, in terms of success, right? Like, but I for one, I feel he's been able to take Liverpool to the level that we actually knew that the club could actually get to. And it's quite unfortunate that he will be leaving, and then the whole coaching staff would also be following him out of the door. I honestly don't know what will happen like from here onwards, because I think for Liverpool, they might not even look beyond this season. Like, they will just focus and then see what will happen like in the season before they try to plan.
Well, I mean, the question really for our debate, we're going to ask who replaces Klopp.
I mean, Xabi Alonso, obviously.
Xabi Alonso.
Yeah, Xabi Alonso. I'm sorry about that.
That's fine.
The pronunciation.
That's fine. It's okay. Why him? Why Xabi Alonso?
Well, he's proven that he's a fantastic coach. He's proven that he's in touch with the modern way of playing football. Mm-hmm. His style has elements of Jurgen Klopp's style. Mm-hmm. You also have to factor in the Liverpool connection. Xabi Alonso played for Liverpool.
Well, he played for Real Madrid too.
He played for Real Madrid too, but he played for Liverpool. That's the thing. He played for Liverpool. And so, Liverpool, those big clubs, they really want one of their own, and they look out for their own.
Do you think he's ready for this kind of? Because you see,
I think he's ready.
Bayer Leverkusen
It's different from Liverpool.
Liverpool is a different type of
Yes,
animal.
I know.
Absolutely.
But he's ready.
You think
He's ready. He's ready.
I beg to differ.
Look, he's ready.
I'm coming
Look,
to you.
he's
Yeah,
ready.
I'll come to you.
You've played for Liverpool. You've played for Bayern Munich. You've played for Real Madrid. And you're not ready to coach Liverpool?
I mean, he's
He's
coached
ready.
a little in Spain. He's
Trust
now
me.
coaching Leverkusen.
He's ready. If you've been able to thrive at Liverpool, thrive at Bayern Munich, thrive at Real Madrid, oh yeah, you are ready to coach. You can coach. And he has shown that he's not just one of those old players I just want to coach, go through those things. He's proven that he's a good coach too. So when you add all
but
that...
the point is, okay, what does he come with? His playing reps, the amount, what he won in his playing days were great, great personality, great brain. But in terms of what he's achieved with his coaching, he really doesn't have anything to show for it.
Yeah, but he's in a better position at this point in time than Pep Guardiola was going into his first season at Barcelona. Because Pep hadn't coached any team. All he had coached was the Barca B.
Yeah.
So comparing that to Pep Guardiola's situation, Xabi Alonso is way ahead of where Pep was at the time he took over from Barcelona.
To be fair, Leverkusen are top of the Bundesliga. They could potentially win. That is if they don't choke.
They are undefeated. They are playing some wonderful football. He's brought along some brilliant players. He's virtually made careers out of guys like Alex Grimaldo. You get it? Stuttgart. And so you look at all these things, and yeah, you can tell that this guy is ready. Look, Zidane coached Real Madrid and won all those titles that he won. Tactically, Zidane comes nowhere close to Xabi Alonso.
Yeah.
Tactically, as a tactical manager, he comes nowhere close to Xabi Alonso. But he excelled with man management. Okay. Xabi Alonso, as a captain, he excelled with man management. And now he's excelling in the tactical aspect of coaching. So I put it all together, and clearly he's the best candidate. On top of that, he has that connection with Liverpool.
Okay,
he's the best candidate.
Okay, I'll get to Emmanuel's thoughts in a bit there. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we get into the debate as to who should replace Jurgen Klopp at Liverpool at the start of the next football season. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the Premier League preview show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Carl. My guests here are Jamie and Emmanuel Budu. Now, we are having a debate on who should replace Jurgen Klopp. For those who do not know, Klopp has announced his departure from Liverpool. He's leaving at the end of the season. He says he's tired. He's burnt out. He just wants some time to rest, recover, recharge the batteries, and figure out where life will take him next. Emmanuel, your thoughts? So, I was saying that Xabi Alonso should replace Klopp at Liverpool.
Yeah, my pick would be Roberto De Zerbi.
Roberto De Zerbi from Brighton.
Yes, that would be my pick. But then let me get on the Alonso bit. I think I wouldn't really take anything away from Alonso in the sense that he's more or less like he's proving himself, you know. It's been almost 8, 9, 10 years. Bayern Munich has been dominating the league for, season in, season out. Last season, Dortmund were just close to winning, and they just bottled it on the last day, and then Bayern came along and swept it again. But then for this season, I think Leverkusen have actually shown that. I actually watch them every weekend. That's and they've actually shown that they actually have what it takes to win a title. You know, in terms of winning titles, sometimes some of the performances might not really be there, but then just one moment of magic, and then you just nick the win, and then they actually did that last week. They just won by a goal to nil, and I feel they have the character to pull certain wins off another. And Xabi Alonso is actually the one orchestrating most of these. I think his in-game instructions, the tactics, the sort of person, even in the absence of Boniface and then Tapsoba and then the players who have gone for the AFCON, he's still delivering. He has some personnel there who are able to replace these guys, and then it's almost as if nothing has changed in their side. And that's the hallmark of a very good coach. In terms of what he has to offer, the reason why I feel it's a tad early for the guy is that we've seen what Gerrard was able to. When he was coming up, Steven Gerrard, when he was coming up
with
Rangers, he was able to win the league with Rangers, I think twice, and then he came to the Premier League with Aston Villa. He couldn't really make something out of that particular experience.
And he's struggling in
now
Saudi Arabia.
Yes, he's struggling in Saudi Arabia. I mean, I really like Alonso. I mean, when he was playing, he was fantastic. Like one of the best midfielders would actually of that particular era. But I feel it might come a bit too soon for him. I feel maybe he also needs one more season with maybe Leverkusen. He has to like be there for another season, and then we'll see what will come out of that. But then my pick will be Roberto De Zerbi, in the sense that the guy is Premier League proven. That's number one. His style of play is sort of like draws certain resemblance, right, to the Liverpool side of 2018, 2019. The side that was able to like press teams, like they will choke you in your own half, and then they will fight for the ball, they will try to win it, and then building up from the back and all that. I think he has the quality, or he even has the attribute to sort of like replicate what he's doing at Brighton at the moment with this particular Liverpool team. And he even has the personnel to even pull it off. You have Van Dijk there commanding the back for you. You have a goalkeeper who is able to who is also good with the feet. You have the midfield is where he might come into face things, because I feel Liverpool still has some work to do in terms of finding the balance in their midfield. But that wouldn't be difficult for him to pull off. And he's also familiar with some of the players. I mean, he worked with McAllister, right? And he has coached on the top level, which he started at Shakhtar Donetsk. We all saw what he did with them in the Champions League and all that. He came to Brighton. He has basically transformed the side, and then he keeps on bringing in new players that are performing on the top level and all that. So I feel personally my pick would be Roberto De Zerbi, because of what he's even been able to achieve with this Brighton side, and because of what I feel he can also achieve with the players that they have at Liverpool.
Okay, I mean, Liverpool fans, I don't know what you think. Klopp is leaving. I don't know what you think, really. I'm sure you're wondering what the way forward is. Let me read this message. Kamal, he says, I'm devastated hearing the news of Klopp leaving. Dragging Liverpool from a mediocre mid-table team to where they belong among the elites is what I always remember him for. It's not difficult to get a coach to get Liverpool to play good football, but it will be extremely difficult to get one with Klopp's personality, passion, and managerial skill. So those three things. Yeah. Says, remember, Klopp has never been sacked in his career. Doesn't that speak volumes? And then he goes on to say that Man City will beat Spurs, and then he thinks Xabi Alonso could be a good replacement.
And based on what he said, that's why, just a quick one, that's why I believe that the thing that people are bringing up, that Jurgen Klopp won one Premier League title in 9 years, is so out of place and out of context. Because look at what he came to meet. Look at what he had to do. How far he had to drag Liverpool
to that
point. Yeah, that's success for me.
Moving on from Lambert to Mohamed Salah.
He had to construct an entire team.
And that for me.
And let's not forget that he lost the league by point. The first proper attempt by point. Yeah. Won the season after, and then the season after he still went at it with
and that's why I honestly always say you need to look beyond statistics. Yeah. You need to look beyond the trophies, the number of trophies, and look at the context. What team did he come to meet? Where were they before he got there? Yes, they almost won the league title under Brendan Rodgers, but after that near title win, how quick was the collapse? Very quick. Yeah. And Liverpool just fell off. Yeah. Then he came and took it up and brought Liverpool to that elite level. And so for me, he's a very wonderful manager. He served his time. Yeah, he's burnt out. I wouldn't be surprised if he picks up a national team coaching gig to ensure that, he can do what he loves and at the same time get enough time to just rest.
Okay, we'll see. Liverpool fans, you can continue the debate wherever you are. Football fans, who replaces Jurgen Klopp as he leaves Liverpool at the end of the season. All right, that's how we wrap it up on today's edition of the Premier League Preview Show. My name is Nathan. I've been focusing heavily on the FA Cup involving some Premier League teams. My guests here are Minta and Emmanuel Buduano. Many thanks to you for watching. We are back next Friday with some more Premier League action when the teams now get back to their main jobs of contesting for the Premier League. We'll catch you then. Take care. Have a super weekend and stay safe.